Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make stuffed pork chops. So what you see on my counter is basically what you're going to need for making the stuffing and the pork chops to go into this. This is like a quick and easy approach to doing this. Really there isn't a lot of effort in it. It's just basically cutting the pork chops open, getting them ready to go, mixing up your stuff for your stuffing, and then literally just cooking these and then finding a side that goes with it. And I even have a suggestion at the end of this of something you can use to go with it that really works well and tastes great. But it's really not hard to do this. So we're going to take our pork chops. Now you can have bone in or boneless. Boneless are so much easier to work with, but unfortunately I didn't have any in the freezer, so I'm using the bone in. So what you need to do is just locate where your bone is inside of your pork chop and just go around it and cut a slit going through the end of either end of your pork chop or wherever you can. So it's an opening that we can put stuffing inside of. So this is really bad. If you got a sharp knife, you can work your way around with it. I find that using something a little smaller as far as the knife is concerned is a little easier, just so that way you can control where it's going. But the best thing is you can just cut this open and use it. Even if you cut through your meat a little bit too far or whatever, it can still be done. It can still work with you. So just go ahead and find wherever you can do openings on your pork chop and slice a slit in it anywhere where like a couple inches to 3 inches is going to work really well for you. And we're going to do this on 2 of these because I'm just serving 2 people. But you could make more of these because you do have a stuffing pack going here. And the stuffing in this could literally do like maybe 5 of these or whatever if you wanted. And here's my package. So basically we're going to go with the directions that come with any of these things. You're just going to add some water, some butter, and then the package that comes, which has the seasoning and the breadcrumbs and everything already in it. And we're going to go ahead and make this. Follow the directions on the box. They know best for what goes into this, but basically it's usually like a cup or a cup and a half of water or whatever, and then your butter. So we're going to heat this up, get it to a temperature where it's about ready to boil, and then we're going to add in what's in the pouch. Nothing big about this. This is the easy part of doing this whole thing, but this speeds you up. Now you could have made stuffing from scratch, yes, and that would have taken you probably an extra hour or something to do. So this way, at least this is something, if you come home and you're tired from work on a weeknight or even on the weekend you're just really exhausted, this is easier to make because you don't go through all of that extra process. So see what you're doing right here, mixing it up just out of the package. This is so easy. The best thing is it's going to taste great inside your pork chop, so it really doesn't matter where it came from. Just go ahead and get this done. Turn off your heat once you get it to the point where you're mixing it up to make sure we don't overcook this. And then we're going to let this cool down for just a couple of minutes because it's so much easier to handle putting it inside of a pork chop when you're not burning your fingers. So go ahead and get it mixed up, set it to the side for a second, and we're going to move on to the next step. So here we have our pork chops. We have some of the stuffing in a bowl. The whole point of this is we're going to move some stuffing onto the counter to work with and use that rather than continuously going back to the bowl and contaminating it, because we don't want to take germs or anything you're going to get off of this pork back to it. So right there's enough to work with. Open up the flaps on the meat and just stuff in the stuffing and start working your way around to put so much in each one of the flaps you cut until it's pretty much getting full. And just move on to the next one and you use up everything you had there, because you'd be amazed how much you can actually fit inside of these things once you start stuffing them in. And it's really not that hard, because the best thing is as this cools down a little bit, the stuffing is easy to work with. It sticks together. It's not going to go all over the place. As long as you didn't make it too dry, it's going to be perfect to use. And just go ahead and work it in as best you can. Now when you get this inside of here, if you have trouble moving them about or doing anything, you could use like a toothpick to hold the ends down until you got them to where we're going to be frying these in a pan to sear them. You could literally hold it together like that, or if you think you can just move it by hand, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move it by hand, but I'm going to make sure I get all this stuffing in so that way I don't waste any of it, because you know at this point it's not going back in the other bowl. That's contaminating. So go ahead, stuff in as much as you can, and then work your way around and see where you can put some more until you get it to a point where it's really stuffed. The best thing about this is once it's inside of there like that and it starts cooking, it's going to stay in place unless you knock it out, which, you know, I've done that many a times myself. And just get this ready to roll, because the next thing we're going to need is a large pan and some olive oil to make this with, because we're basically going to put this on medium high heat in our pan, add some olive oil, and then cook the outside of these. So start out here before we go to the pan, put some Italian seasoning on the outside of both of them on one side, and then we're going to add some salt and pepper to each side. Now basically you're just using a pinch of each of these just to put some on. If you'd like the taste of salt on something or pepper or whatever, you can add more than just a pinch, but just go ahead and get it on there before we put it into the pan, so that way this is really well seasoned and it's going to have a great taste because of it. And once we're done with this part, we're going to get ready to move forward and do the next part. So just set your stuff aside. Keep the rest of that seasoning though. We're going to need it in a minute to do the other side while we're cooking. So put at least 3 tablespoons of olive oil in your pan. We're going to get this heated up to medium high heat. We want to make sure that it's starting to get warm when we're working with this, and just slide these off your cutting board if that's what you're using to have them on, because it worked for me, because it literally just slid them right over. And we're going to get the temperature up. Now what we're going to try and do is sear these in this pan. We're going to go for at least, I would say, 3 to 4 minutes per side. I'd err on 4 minutes, because we really want to kind of get them browned a little bit and get a really good look going on before we flip them over. But 3 to 4 minutes per side. When you flip it to the other side, just remember we have to actually add seasoning to that, because we saved some seasoning to do that. Best thing here is, if you have a really good spatula to flip it over with, just reach underneath, flip it over with your fingers as well, and try not to burn yourself, and then season the back side and make sure that it's really coated with salt, pepper, and the Italian seasoning. And we're going to let it cook on the other side for at least maybe another 4 minutes. And we just want to get this really seared before we send it to the oven, because this is doing a lot of the cooking for us, which is really great. Now, as you can see at this point, both of mine have been flipped over and both sides are being seasoned, so that's good. And then at the same time, your oven should be heating up. So if you have not preheated it, you need it at 325 degrees. And we're going to have these in the oven for at least another like 10 to 12 minutes once we transfer them. So once these look really good and they've really been seared on the outside, we're going to get ready to transfer these over to a baking pan to go to the oven. So one thing that I always do is line my pan with some aluminum foil, so that way this is quick cleanup, and some nonstick cooking spray so this stuff doesn't stick to it. And then we're going to transfer the stuffed pork chops over to this and get ready to go. And the best thing about this is, you know, you've already cooked quite a bit of this already before it's even going in the oven. So when they go in there for 10 to 12 minutes, it's really going to do something. But we want them to be in there and cook for that 10 to 12 minutes and reach an internal temperature of at least 145 degrees. So that way they're going to cook really well. Everything's going to be great with these. They'll be done by the time you bring them out. If you're not at 145 degrees, you might want to leave them a little longer. And then after that, we're going to let them sit for about 5 minutes. That way they got time to set up and do their thing. But as a suggestion, as a side for this, some broccoli, some cheese. It's so easy. You can get a frozen bag of the broccoli. You can get cheese out of the can. Literally, you can nuke these in a microwave. The broccoli's done in about like 6 minutes if you go ahead and just put it at regular temperature cook. And then heat up the cheese, put over top of it, and it goes amazing with this meal. And as you can see, that's what I serve with mine, and it is an amazing thing. And what better than this for a great meal? I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.